welcome to the Fantasy Baseball Camp. I'm Michael. I'm joined here by the whole camp. We got the whole camp here tonight. We got Wes, Will, and Tommy. Will, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, other than Shane McClanahan potentially being injured. But what can you do?
We'll find out. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
stay
You said it
tuned.
was a back issue, though, not an arm issue, right?
Yeah, it's the first report, so we'll see how accurate that is, and hopefully that's the case. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's I bet how your back feels too from your team right now, of him carrying it this far.
Yeah, it's a miracle we're not in last, but
To what? 3 wins?
hey, we got
Yeah, you say
we
it's a
got
miracle
four,
not last.
4 wins. Okay.
And last place has what?
but
That's a cute record
hey,
you got
please,
there.
I'm like fourth in points forward and like second to last with Burns and points against. That's where it
Oh,
hurts.
it's awful. The points against, it's awful. If you and Wes haven't looked, Tommy, then go look at that points against. It's awful. But yeah, this is episode 28 of Fantasy Baseball Camp. We're a day into the week 13 of fantasy baseball. So here we're going to try to look at the prospects and see about prospects that have been called up already, see how they're doing, see if we think it's worth a while to hold on to, or maybe you're getting close to your selling point, or you decided don't want this guy anymore. We're also talking about guys who are on the cusps of coming up, and maybe if he's available and you need somebody to insert into your lineup to help you propel you into the second half, that'd be your guy. Tommy, you got a guy who is in the majors right now that should be pretty owned.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a pitcher I've talked about before. I was part of my Reds hyping train was Andrew Abbott. I think he's 81% rostered on CBS, and he was known as a strikeout king. He was like 15K per nine, 14K per
Goodness
nine through Double A.
gracious.
It was the pre-tack ball, and so I think you're getting extra spin rate from it there. But even when we got to move to Triple A for a couple games, it was like a 12 or 13K per nine, so he was still fantastic. Well, he got called up in his first 3 games. He allowed 0 earned runs through 3
I think
games.
that's a Reds record.
It was it was fantastic. He went 18 innings, no earned runs. It was beautiful, but everybody was hating on him because he wasn't really striking guys out. He had a couple walks, and it just really wasn't that impressive. And so a 0 ERA, and everybody's kind of downing him. Well, he goes out against Colorado Rockies. Granted, Colorado Rockies gives up 3 solo home runs. They're all wall scrapers. I mean,
Wall
he just kind of
scrapers.
got lucky.
I've never heard that
But
term
he had
before.
10 strikeouts, and I think like a 31% swing and strike rate. It was fantastic, and everybody's hyping the train. I'm like, this guy's legit. Maybe this is good, which is kind of so funny because you give up no runs, they hate on you. You give up 3 runs, that you're the best thing since sliced bread. But with all things said, after 4 games, he's got a 1.14 ERA and a 0.97 WHIP with 22 strikeouts and 23 innings, so just short of a K per nine. But maybe he's trying to figure out. Maybe it's a new ball. His xERA is 3.39 because he's got some hard contact, and he had gotten a little lucky. So I think I'm saying all this to say that if you have somebody who's still hating on him because he wasn't striking many guys out and they haven't seen his last game, I would go out and try and buy him. I think he's going to be a special pitcher for a special team. We've talked about their offense, how potent they're going to be with Ellie and McLean, and Botto's doing well, Steer, Christian Strand when he comes up. The only downside being he does play Great American Ballpark, which is the least friendly home run ballpark minus Coors. Or the most friendly, I should say, home run ballpark. So I think he's a special pitcher. I don't think he's going to be an ace, but I think he's definitely someone you want in your staff, maybe a number 2 or number 3 guy to carry you for a while.
Have they said what the plan is for Encarnacion Strand yet? Like, where is he going to play?
Well,
I know.
Yeah, he's hitting like 380 or something in the AAA right now. There's no reason for him to be down anymore. The best thing they can do is they don't have really a designated DH. They did have an outfielder just go out on the injured list. I think it was Fraley or Freed. I can't remember. But Spencer Steer has been playing a lot more outfield.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so my personal opinion is you put Steer in the outfield. Kevin Newman has no business being on this team. Let Ellie play third, let McLean play short, India play second, Votto at first and let Krishna Strand
DH.
DH and swap with Votto so we can get some time in the field. I think you had those 4 infielders plus a DH and Steer in the outfield.
Yeah.
Is a 6-headed monster.
And they got Noelvi Marte coming right behind all of them too. I mean, Noelvi's hitting 284 in AA right now with I think 12 home runs. I mean,
So you think Noelve is a trade bait at the deadline for pitching?
No. I think if anything, I hate to say this, I think Jonathan India is probably more trade bait than Noelvi Marte right now, and or a Spencer Steer. I think those two get traded
not
before.
Marte, but India would bring back
A huge return right now.
huge return.
Yeah.
Huge return. The dude's is
Still got
controlled.
A lot of at least 3 years left of control left. He's been really good this year. I didn't even think
So
about that.
if you want to look at the Reds and how they've called up guys recently, it's always been publicity stunts. Did I say that right?
Well, we're not accused
So-
on
After 7
pronunciation on this
tries.
podcast, but you're pretty close.
Today,
Man, at me
Jimmy.
this
So
time.
Ellie-
I'll take it.
Ellie was a publicity stunt. Votto was a publicity stunt. Now that those are done, look at their schedule. And if they don't have anything else publicity-wise coming, that's when Strand's coming up.
Yeah.
That's what Brandon, who lives in Cincinnati, predicted Ellie's call-up.
Yeah, they wanted it to be at home, right? So that Red fans and they
So
had
that they'd
something
sell
else.
tickets.
They'd sell tickets,
They-
exactly. Yeah.
They had
With no other like fireworks or concert going on.
or another
anything.
team in town.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how because what was it last year? The owners told the Reds fans, if you don't like it, find somebody else. After they were like, sell the team.
Yep. And now they're in first place.
Yeah,
Hard to complain.
Andrew Abbott, I like it because he's got a good offense behind him. So even if he gives up, say, 3 runs, he's not going to get the loss most times out of not if the Reds score runs. I like his immediate fantasy impact more than I liked his future, if anything. Really, MLB doesn't think too highly of him as an ace or anything, but a middle of the order quality start machine. That's what he looks like right now.
Yeah, in his first 2 starts, he went 105 pitches each. I think he
what's up
stopped
with
only
that?
after 88 this time, but he was at 6 innings. So, I mean, it's hard to complain about
The
that.
opposite of some other teams with their prospects or call-ups.
Yep.
He's got,
Yep.
you've thrown 2 innings and you've thrown 25 pitches. Oh, come sit down. Come on. We'll ice your arm for you. Here's 5 ibuprofen. All right. So
that is my prospect.
that's a pitching prospect. Will, I think see you have a hitting prospect
Yeah,
for
so
us.
my guy that I picked is Nolan Jones from the Rockies. He's got first base and outfield. His point spread so far, he's gone 13, 37, 11, and he has 17 this week as we're recording this on a Thursday. So he's got 17 going into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you'd think he'd finish low to mid 20s, which is pretty solid. And like we've talked about many times on here, being playing at Coors Field and the effect there. He's hitting 349, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs with 5 stolen bases so far. So he's producing across the categories. And I think if I read that right, he almost had the cycle the other night. He was a triple shy, and it just took a weird, hit off the wall, and the outfielder made a great play getting it in quick. But he could have had the cycle. So, I mean, he's hitting, swinging it, playing half his games at home. It makes a big impact, big difference.
And he was a hyped up prospect with the Guardians before he came over to the Rockies. So
I mean,
it's
I
not
think
like he got snuck up.
correction. Hold on. At that point, it was a prospect for the Indians. I don't think he was a prospect for the Guardians ever.
True.
Well.
Canceled.
You're going to blow up like the Titanic.
We're not going to go there.
Implode.
But he
I
was
like Nolan
recent to
Jones. I
the
remember
Rockies,
him-
right? Like fairly recent. He was traded to the Rockies like last 2 years, within last.
I think it was last year.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got
Yeah,
his
I
call and
like
produce.
Nolan Jones.
I think that submarine company is going to go underwater after all this.
Oh my goodness, Tommy! I wish I had my media board up there to just pull this in right here. Oh, knee slapper for sure. Oh man. Yeah, Nolan Jones was the Guardians' #1 prospect in 2021. a standout hockey center before concussions forced him to focus on baseball.
I didn't know
So
that.
pretty tough. Then got some grit.
Means he's
Yeah.
tough. Yep.
And with
So,
dual
all right,
eligibility.
I like Nolan Jones. He should start hitting higher in the order for the Rockies, but that's all that's going for him. The Rockies are abysmal. Let's see if you have one waiver wire. Are we going Jones and Abbott? It's not really fair because Abbott's showing as a starting pitcher. Everybody needs starting pitchers. We'll wait for another couple prospects to come through before we do a ranking. Wes, you got somebody for us to be looking at?
I do. I just wanna. I'm gonna
I
call
do.
this.
I do.
If somebody with the Orioles by some chance sees this, I'm gonna say that Anthony Santander, somebody like Heston Kjerstad, and a minor league pitcher get traded for Shane Bieber. That's my prediction. Anyways, so the guy that I'm gonna talk about has already been up most. He started this season. Grayson Rodriguez, since he's been sent down, he's 3-0 with a 2.86 ERA and a 1.18 WHIP. In 22 innings, he's got 29 strikeouts. So he's been really good since he got sent down. Maybe he just wanted to, or he needed to go down, get a little confidence about himself. I honestly, he's too good to stay in AAA, and the Orioles are a great team where they can bring him up and allow him to learn at the big league level. But I really, honestly, just think he needed to go down and get some confidence about himself. I would not expect him to be down much longer.
Yeah. For some reason, this guy's 54% owned in leagues when there are prospects who are still in AAA who have not even broken owned more than that. Grayson Rodriguez started the year with the MLB team, like Wes said, went down, and he is doing well right now at AAA. And the Orioles are going to need him.
Yeah, if they're gonna, I think they're gonna make the playoffs. But for that long stretch, if they're gonna be in a playoff run, they're gonna need Grayson Rodriguez to be that front end guy. Look, Tyler Wells is really good. Kyle Bradish is decent. Who else do they have? They have Dean Kramer is decent, right? But they don't have a front end guy, and they're gonna need Grayson Rodriguez. Wow, Grayson Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Good
I
talk,
know.
Wes.
Pronunciation.
Did you learn English this week?
Who's the lefty they got from
Still
Oakland?
learning. You're not talking about D.L. Hall, are you?
No.
You talking about Cole Irvin?
Oh, Cole Irvin.
Cole Irvin,
Yeah, Cole Irvin. Yep.
So
he's been decent, but yeah, you look at that rotation, you're like, how are the Orioles in second place? How do they have 45 wins?
no idea.
Yeah,
They just win, man. They're really exciting to watch. They score runs. And, look, you do have to give the rotation credit, though. Dean Kramer's been really good. Tyler Wells has been really good.
Tyler Wells has been great.
They haven't been the front end Garrett Cole, Framber Valdez type, but they've won games. And, in the end, that's what it's about. If you win games, you stay in the rotation. So,
all right, if you have one prospect, who you think is rest of the season better, Grayson Rodriguez or Andrew Abbott?
I'm gonna say Rodriguez. I
think Rodriguez will figure it out. I mean, he's been really good in the minors. He had a bunch of pedigree. Abbott kind of came in this year showing up. He hasn't been a name for years like Grayson Rodriguez has been. If I had to bet money on it, it'd be Rodriguez. But it wouldn't surprise me if Abbott's been fantastic. But I think the odds are higher that Rodriguez is the better pitcher.
I think we've talked about this a few times where at that level, at the AA, AAA level, the scouts normally don't get it wrong. And to have Grayson Rodriguez as the best pitching prospect in baseball, Andrew Abbott wasn't even on the board before this season. So what he did, with 15 strikeouts per inning and like 2 walks per inning was kind of out of nowhere. And if you watch Abbott pitch, like, yes, he's good, but his stuff just isn't quite what Rodriguez's stuff is. I think Abbott knows how to pitch better than Grayson Rodriguez does currently, but Grayson Rodriguez's stuff, he will learn how to pitch at the big league level, and I think he will be that front-end guy. That might happen this year. I expect it to happen by the end of this season. I can't say that I trust Andrew Abbott to be as good as he has been all year because there's just not that much track record.
Grayson really wasn't that bad. I'm going to put it a little stretch. He really wasn't that bad. He still was striking guys out. He was walking a decent, but his whip is not terrible. 1.74 in 10 games. For a guy who has a 7.35 ERA, I think he just had his last 3 weeks in the majors. He obviously needed to go work on something. But Grayson Rodriguez has this stuff. 56 strikeouts over 45 innings.
Yeah,
the guy flashes ace.
If you look at his 3 blow-up games, right? I'm discounting the 4 earned run game against the White Sox. That's different, right? So his 3 blow-up games, Oakland 4 1/3, 5 earned runs, 4 walks. The Angels, 8 earned runs, 3 walks. And Texas, 8 earned runs, 3 walks, right? When he walks less than 2 people, he basically gets a quality start. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts against Detroit. He did that twice in a row. And the Kansas City Royals, they scored 6 earned runs on him. I mean, that's kind of an anomaly.
Would you trade Andrew Abbott for Grayson Rodriguez, or would you hold on to what's rolling right now? Let's talk redraft leagues. Are you rolling with Andrew Abbott, or are you selling high for Grayson Rodriguez?
I would probably sell high. That's just me. I don't.
On Abbott?
Yeah, it's really tough for me to start a pitcher who has to pitch half of his games in Cincinnati.
True.
Unless it's a Hunter Green where it's just pure strikeout stuff.
Where you throw 104 miles an hour every other pitch.
And Abbott does not have that, right? He doesn't have a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So I'm going to say, yeah, if I can buy low on Grayson Rodriguez in exchange for Abbott, I would do that.
All right, I'm going to throw another wrench in it. Will, what do you think? Taj Bradley, Grayson Rodriguez, Andrew Abbott.
I'm sticking with Taj Bradley. As good as the Rays are, and it looked like he's starting to. Did I see that he had a good start a day or two ago?
Taj has been fantastic
since he came back. Yeah. So as good as the Rays are, and he had a good start earlier this year before they did that Rays thing where they sent him down. But yeah, I'm taking Taj Bradley for sure. And that
rest of season redraft leagues. How are we ranking these guys? Those 3.
I'm gonna go Taj, Grayson, Abbott.
Yeah,
agreed.
Does that change in keeper leagues, in dynasty leagues?
I think Taj is still 1.
Yeah, I think Taj is still 1.
Today, I agree with that. Taj is still 1, but it would not surprise me putting Grayson over Taj once they get going. I think the Orioles need to help more than the Rays do. They'll let him go. They'll let him go deep. They won't be play games with him. He was the number 1 pitching prospect for a reason.
That's a good.
So I think long term, I think Rodriguez has the potential to be the number 1 on that list, and the number 1 for the Orioles staff. To be honest.
Yeah, the guy screams to ace with that strikeout potential. So that's hitters. Do we have anybody else have another pitching prospect? I'm sorry, I said hitters. Pitching prospect we can throw into this mix?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, Emmett Sheehan is another name I wanted to highlight.
And he just got called up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did get called up, but the reason I want to talk to him.
Double A.
He was in Double A. So in 3, not full, but partial 2021 season, or partial 3 minor league seasons, he had a 2.76 earned ERA over 39 games, for basically a 1 whip and a 15 K per 9. I mean, there's nothing else you can ask for a minor league pitcher to do. He plays for the Dodgers. They always know what they're doing. They figure people out. He made his debut against the San Francisco Giants, who have been surging as of late. Keep that in mind. He did walk 2 guys, only had 3 strikeouts. So just with Abbott, we talked about he's been a strikeout machine, and he didn't have very many. Anybody's got the yips kind of their first go out, but there's a caveat to that. He threw a no-hitter through 6 innings against the San Francisco surging Giants, and it equates to an 0.33 whip, only 2 walks. So his minor numbers were fantastic. You can't ask for a better start. It was a no hitter. He just hit his cap for a rookie in the first start. And the only caveat to that is I don't think you can put him at the top of any of this list we're talking about right now because I don't know his long-term job security with Noah Syndergaard and Julio Urias coming back from the Dodgers eventually. They've already like 3 or 4 rookies deep they're starting right now. He may be the first to go unless he continues to perform at an elite level, maybe somebody else, maybe Grove or a different guy. But honestly, they don't have a reason to have Noah Syndergaard in their rotation. So maybe he can take that spot if he continues to perform. He's pitching Friday, the June 23rd against Houston. So that'd be a really good matchup to see how that goes as well.
Yeah, I remember I looked at Shaheen earlier this year as well, Tommy, and he is putting up great numbers in the minor leagues. And with guys like Bobby Miller on Dodgers rotation as well as a prospect as well, it's hard to know that job security, but another great guy to be looking at. I'll throw.
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say add him to the list. Where does he fall for you guys?
Sheehan.
Yeah,
in the list of Taj, Grayson, Abbott.
Probably third.
Abbott, in a redraft
I
perspective.
put him third.
Who's he in front of, Will?
Abbott, fourth.
Yeah,
For rest of the season redraft?
I still think 1 and 2 are the same for sure.
Right.
I think I have to put him fourth. Only not because of skill level, only because of job security.
Yeah.
Abbott's up.
That's
He's
true.
gonna stay up.
That's true.
In 3 weeks, we go visit this again, and Sheehan's, hey, this is his job to lose. He's not going anywhere short of injury, or he just falls apart. I may bump him to second on that list for redraft, just with his track record.
The availability and playing time being secure at that point, yeah.
I think a guy who has more job security is Bryan Woo of the Mariners. The Mariners are struggling. They need something to kick off their season. I think
He was throwing today.
Yeah, he threw probably his best game of his career today. Beat the Yankees and gave up only 3 runs. I think what
5.1, 0 earned runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks.
Yeah. I saw the best.
Yeah, but the Yankees are so bad without Aaron Judge.
They are.
Like, so
It's really
bad. I've never seen it. So in NBA, one guy can make a whole team. I've never seen that in baseball, but I have this year with Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
Yeah. So we talked about the Orioles earlier with Grayson Rodriguez. Will, you've gotten the notes here, another prospect for the Orioles, but on the hitting side that could boost their lineup.
Yeah, I put Colton Cowser. You know, he's obviously not up yet, but one to watch that you would think they would have up, you know, pretty soon. Just looking at the lineup, you know, there's a few holes there where he could fit in, you know, at the DH spot or one of the outfield slots. Because I know Cedric Mullins is coming back soon, so he's a everyday fixture once he's back. But who do you have outside of that? Aaron Hicks and Santander. You know, they're maintaining the other 2 spots.
Mountcastle plays the outfield as well.
Yeah.
And Austin Hayes.
Yeah, I would think, you know, as highly regarded as Cowser is and Orioles being good, you know, I imagine his time will be coming very soon because he's hitting 341 with 8 home runs, 6 stolen bases, and only 51 strikeouts to 42 walks. So to me, that was impressive as well. So
that's another guy drafted in the 2021 draft. We were just talking about how these guys are moving quick.
Yeah. I think we're starting to see the effects of the missed 2020 season, right? And maybe that's in culmination with the rule changes to, like, there's no incentive anymore for clubs to keep guys down for service manipulation, at least not as much. I think it still happens, but not nearly as much.
Jordan Walker.
Yeah, right. Cardinals. I don't know. Would you guys agree with that? Like, we're seeing so many guys get promoted from AA, or
do you think
like
that
10 at bats
6th seed
AAA.
helps?
The what?
Having a sixth seed helps, making it easier to get in the playoffs and saying, hey, you know what? If this guy gives me 5 more wins for the year, I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know how much money there is in a playoff spot? Even just the last wildcard spot, there's so much money up for the ownership.
Yeah, and I think it's been proven that, look, guys at AA, if you make it to AA, you have the talent to play in the big leagues. The difference is the mental side of it. right? So
if you do well at AA.
right, and especially for pitchers, like pitchers making the jump from AA to the big leagues is not as big of a learning curve as hitters. I don't know that you're going to see a hitter promoted from AA. That's pretty extensive unless they start the year with the team. But look, you got guys throwing 100, 101 on a regular basis. That's just as hard to hit in the big leagues. So yeah, I mean, I think there's less reason to keep guys down. There's more incentive to promote them, and clubs are like, hey, you promote a Bryan Woo, you promote a Mason Miller, you promote a Bryce Miller, a Bobby Miller. Wow, there's 3 Millers right there. I did not mean to do that.
I gotta go get a beer.
But all 3 of those guys have a fastball that sits at 99 or 100, and you know what? Yeah, they get away with it at the big league level because it's incredibly hard to hit.
So if not Mason, Bryce, and Bobby, why not a Cowser? That's hilarious.
Let's make a staff. Shelby Miller needs to be the number 5th of the staff. He's horrible now. Well, who's another pitcher Miller? Is there one more? Is there a 5th?
What's the dude from the Indians back then? Andrew Miller, bullpen guy, right? Very good back in the day.
Andrew Miller.
Rank that rotation. Shelby Miller, Bobby Miller, Mason Miller.
Bobby, Mason,
Bryce Miller.
Bryce.
Blank, then Shelby.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the 4th guy is.
Shelby's down there. So, all right. So now we're on the hitting side of things. That's Colton Cowser. He's on the cusps.
I got one more pitcher.
You got another pitcher?
I do. So 2 days ago, Kyle Harrison was scratched from his start. I've been scouring for anything on his promotion. I have not seen it yet. But
a couple weeks ago, they increased his pitch count at AAA.
They did, and he's been on a pitch count all year down there. It's really weird. I mean, but look, each organization has their own thing.
It's weird, but I would rather limit him in the beginning of the season than have to scratch him at the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%
Steven
agree.
Strasburg situation.
And I think that's kind of the Giants' formula. And you know what? Honestly, if there's an organization that you should look to as the gold standard for arm care, it's probably the Giants. So the one thing I'll say about Kyle Harrison, the only thing I think that was keeping him down was his walks per inning. If you look at his AAA stats, he was walking more than 7 per 9, which is awful. But what I will say about that is that in his first 6 starts in AAA, he had 21 walks of his current 37 walks. So, it looked like he had some control issues early in the year that since he's gotten a little better. He's honed in on his control as the season's gone on. And his last, 5 starts, he's given up 4 earned runs combined. And he's since his 3rd start, he has not struck out less than 5. So I'm real interested in Kyle Harrison long-term dynasty leagues. I think the Giants are surging. I think it's a perfect time for them to call him up. To
keep it rolling.
Yeah, to keep it rolling. So I'm really interested. And he's also, FYI, he's got a 70 grade fastball. And if you look at
goodness gracious,
as a lefty, he's got a 70 grade fastball. And so to compare that, Mason Miller has a 70 grade fastball. Now here's where I kind of differ with Fangraphs. They have Bobby Miller as a 65 grade fastball. It doesn't really go into details. You're not reading the actual scouting report, so I don't know if they're giving Bobby Miller as a 65 because it has less movement than Kyle Harrison's or Bryce Miller. But look, as a left-hander, with a 70 grade fastball and a 60 slider, Giants are a good team. They're surging. Yeah, real interested in Kyle Harrison if he gets the call.
I would be all for it because that would help the Dodgers not make the playoffs as well.
Henry Davis had a home run tonight. I didn't realize that.
Did he?
Looking at some highlights.
Let's go.
Nice.
Yep, his first career home run.
Let's go. Who's that against?
Miami. That was my recommendation from last episode. So 1 point for me.
Yeah, but you're commenting on a home run that's and when this isn't going to air. We're recording this Thursday night. This is airing Monday. You're commenting on a home run.
Yeah, by Monday, Henry
Yeah.
Davis is going to have 3 home runs. I'm going to call
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Exactly. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have a question for you guys. Let me read you a stat line, and you tell me if it's underwhelming. Guy's slash line is 321, 387, 536. So you look at that slash line and you say, is that guy a good player or a bad player?
Say that one more time.
He's below league average.
I was Snapchatting.
321 batting average, not below league average, a 387 on base, and a 536 slug.
So 321 average.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
That's pretty good.
Near,
honestly.
that's near above average. No, that is above average.
It's
It's
above
almost a
average.
3.45. 3.45
Yeah.
is what you want.
Yeah.
So that has been, according to Twitter, the underwhelming start from Ellie De La Cruz. He has not been what anybody wanted him to be, and he's MVP numbers: 2 home runs, 6 steals. He's striking out a lot.
Is he three? Is that his stat line for real? I thought I saw it worse. I thought it was worse.
The average?
Nope. His batting average is 321. He's slugging 536. He's got a triple, 2 doubles, or excuse me, 4 doubles and 2 home runs.
He started his first 3 games with a home run, a double, a triple, and then all of a sudden he was batting 180 for the next few games.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because in last episode we were talking about the hitters aren't starting hot whenever they come up, and then Ellie De La Cruz comes up and he is on fire to start, and then he kind of settled down a little bit.
Well, you're not going to score 31 points every week. That'd be a 900-point season. That's never happened.
Yeah, I mean his batting average got as low. His line got as low as 235, 350, 412. After he got called
and then
up.
he hit
and then it
one
went
more
right
home
back
run
up.
and a double.
Yep.
Yeah, the stats move a lot
For short samples,
in short
yeah.
sample sizes. But it was just funny to hear Twitter. Oh my God, Ellie sucks. He's not doing good. What's happening? Because he had
Send
one
him
slow
down.
week, and he's got an MVP slash line.
Yeah. So that's Tommy's bringing up another hitter there. We mentioned Colton Cowser as a hitter. Ellie De La Cruz. I think it's pretty safe to say folks would go with Ellie over Colton. But Colton's got the pedigree of a first-round pick, 5th overall by the Orioles. How about Tommy? I see you have listed here another guy, Josh Young.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about Josh Young. He's just been a really good third baseman for the Rangers. I don't think there's a lot to say. He's pretty highly rostered. He's at 275, 329, 493 on the year with 15 home runs. He still strikes out way too much. Only 1 stolen base. He's not giving you a lot there, but he's in the top 5 ish. I don't know if they have numbers in overall score for third baseman. He's getting all-star votes in his rookie season. I mean, he's been everything you wanted to be. But there's another pitcher I want to talk about.
God,
that probably fell off the radar.
I think this is episode 28 pitching prospect update. Let's scratch all the rest of the hitters.
I think people have forgotten about Bryce Miller because he had 2 really, really bad starts against the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees. He gave up 8 runs and 7 runs, and respectfully, that's how you should be overlooked if you give up that. But remember Braxton Garrett, we talked about him before, gave up 11 runs against Atlanta and went on an absolute haul, an absolute tear. So since those 2 games that he gave up 8 and 7 earned runs, he faced Miami and Chicago, not good teams. So went 6 innings, 1 earned run,
The White Sox.
6 strikeouts. Then he went 7 innings, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. I don't know what else you can ask for with a pitcher like that. And so for the month of June, he's got a 117 whip and he's got 14 strikeouts and 15 innings because he had that 1 bad start against Texas. But I still think he's a very rosterable pitcher. I think other than those 2 bad starts, he's been fine.
What's he owned?
I think he's 80% or so. So, and the reason he's valuable really in a points league is he doesn't walk anybody. He's 97th percentile in walks, and he's got 8 walks in 51 innings. So that's really not much. He's only giving up 4 home runs. He's not striking out like everybody wanted to, and he's good at hard contact. But as long as the defense is there behind him, he doesn't run into some trouble. I think he's a very rosterable pitcher.
Where does he fall on the
he's
list of Abbott, Taj, Grayson, Woo?
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of good rookie pitchers here. He's probably towards the bottom, if not the bottom, just because you have those 2 stinkers and the strikeout numbers aren't what you want them to be. But I think he's still worth rostering.
Wes is groaning over there like he's got something to say.
That's tough. The only thing I would say for Bryce Miller, he doesn't have the put away pitch that the Taj Bradley has or Grayson Rodriguez changeup, right? He's got the fastball.
I put him at the bottom of that list.
Yeah, come on, Wes. What's wrong, dude? Come on.
I think he's performed better than the other guys. Like, I think he's performed better than Taj, than Grayson. Maybe Bobby Miller's right there. You know, Bobby Miller he had one unfortunate outing, but as far as performance goes, I mean, I would say Bobby Miller, Bryce Miller, and then Taj, and then Grayson, right? But if I'm grading it long term, I'm probably going Taj, Grayson, Bobby Miller, and then Bryce Miller.
If I told you a guy had a 3.68 ERA and a 0.88 WHIP with 7 quality starts in like 9 games, you'd be like, "Oh my god, get that guy in my team."
Start him every game.
That's Bryce Miller. So he's not bad.
I will put this caveat. Look at who he's pitched against. Oakland, Houston, Detroit, Oakland, New York, Miami, Chicago White Sox.
That's fair. The strength of schedule.
Who were his two
pretty rough
blow-up starts against?
Texas?
Yankees and Yankees. But he faced Atlanta. Had a quality start.
He faced Atlanta and gave up 3 runs. That's the only other time he's given up more than 1 earned run or 0.
That's the one area where you say, like, he just doesn't have that put away pitch that or that he can rely on, second, third time through the order. Now, granted, I think it might have been the Texas start where he got hit early. But
home runs.
Yeah. You look at a guy like,
oh no, that was only 1 home run.
Yeah, I forget which start it was, but he got hit early in one.
Yeah. Everybody gives up runs to Texas. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out. I think because those 2 bad starts, he was forgotten about. But his overall stat line of this season is really good. His strikeouts probably 8K per 9, which isn't great, but it's fine. People live on that all the time. I just don't want people to sleep on him because of those 2 bad starts. I think if he develops a slider or a changeup, that's a little bit higher stuff, he's going to be fantastic. You saw what Seattle did with George Kirby.
Yeah, that was literally the guy. His command's not quite George Kirby, but his fastball's better.
Who's it? Logan Gilbert. I mean, they're just really good at developing pitchers. They got Bryan Woo coming up. I think he's still young. They gave him a chance to develop that work, and there's that slider changeup. He's going to be good.
Anybody checked in on Emerson Hancock lately? Or what's going on with him?
No, I remember him being a name, and now I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
So
are we done with pitchers? Can we move on?
I think we're just sticking with pitchers. I think we're too far. I mean, if you want to throw a hitter into
I got a couple hitters to talk about. The first,
I don't know. We got the time for that though. But if you want to throw these hitters in quickly, you can.
I'll be quick. So I got to give a shout out to Eric Cross on this one. So the one guy, I saw him post a tweet, and it says only 4 hitters have a hard hit rate and a whiff rate, both in the 90th percentile or better. Kyle Tucker, Yandy Diaz, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Maikel Garcia, rookie for the Royals.
Who?
Exactly. Maikel Garcia, not a top prospect. You probably don't know who he is. If you go look at his stat line right now, 281, 2 home runs, 18 runs, 16 RBIs. In 162 plate appearances, 7 stolen bases. But
who? Who's it again? I'm looking at their prospect list.
Maikel Garcia. It's in the notes. He's not on the prospect list.
Okay. But he's not even on their prospect list.
He hits the ball hard and he doesn't swing and miss. And he in the minors stole 35 and 42 bags. He also hit 11 home runs last year. So look, he's going to get a chance to play every day in Kansas City. If he can develop a little bit of power, man, that's a 30-plus stolen base guy that's going to hit 15 home runs and hit 280. And as hard as he hits the ball and as little as he swings and misses, yeah, real interested in that. Next guy, Zach Neto. I just don't think he gets enough credit. of all the young shortstops that there are in the game right now. He was the second guy up or the first guy up in the 2021 draft, right? And
Yep.
honestly, I just don't feel like he gets enough credit. He's hitting 259 with 6 home runs. He has been on the IL a little bit, but I don't know, man. Something about this guy just tells me he's a player. Like he's just kind of one of those dirtbag kind of guys that you just love to watch play. And I he's available in our league, and I don't necessarily have a spot for him. But I mean, he hit 320 in Double A and 444. He started this year in Double A at 444, 3 home runs and 3 stolen bases, and got called up in 34 plate appearances. So the guy can hit. So
He's got 60 grade hit tool, 50 power, 50 run. He was fun. Most of us here, except for you, Wesley, got to watch him at the Trash Pandas here in town, and the dude raked.
yeah.
He came up quick. He was kind of a big, exciting name when he came to Double A really quick, and yeah, the fun name was Logan O'Hoppy when he came to town.
Yeah, it sucks that he got hurt.
Yeah, they were that.
We'll
That's
make it to see him again in a rehab.
yeah, for sure. He was O'Hoppy and Nato are 1-2 in the prospects last year for the Angels.
There's one more hitter on this list that I think has quietly slid by and gotten better and better. And I'm not going to say you should go jump out and add him, but I think it's somebody to watch. It's Tristan
Oh
Casas.
my gosh! I was like, he's
Yeah.
not going to say Tristan Casas, is he? He's not going to
it's a
say
home
Tristan
pick.
Casas.
Look, in April, horrible 585 OPS. In May, league average 767 OPS. In June, 831 OPS. He's slowly gotten better and better. Lowered his strikeout rate. So his walk rate's always been good. He's just quietly gotten better. His last 100 plate appearances, he's been an above average hitter. One of the top scoring third baseman in the month of June.
Third baseman, first
Probably
baseman.
top 10. First baseman in top 10, if I had to guess. But I think he's slowly starting to figure it out. He's always been known for his patience. He was an on-base guy. They talked about him letting lead off at the start of the season. Clearly, that didn't work
Yeah, I
out.
think most folks have lost their patience with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got really good average exit velocity, really good max exit velocity, hard hit rates, his expected his expected WOBAs, slugs, walk rates. They're all fantastic. Barrel rate. He's hitting the ball hard. He's just running into a ton of bad luck. His BABIP's horrible. He's expecting batting average.
I'll give
was
it to you,
low.
Tommy. He has improved every single month of the year. But for the month of April, he batted 137. For the month of May,
it was bad.
Yeah, month of May, 257, and now for the month of June, 277. But what he's known for is that slugging, and he's still slugging below 500. 2 home runs in June, 3 in May. That should be 5 for 1 month. But yeah, he's been a disappointment, but most people are still saying don't give up on him. You're a little biased, a little bit, I'd say. Just a little bit. What do you think?
I agree. But I watch him a lot, and I do see his approach. He's getting better. But that power swing just needs to be there.
If you, I know Tommy knows this, but if you guys go to Fangraphs under Tristan Casas's page and you click on graphs,
Ex-Woba?
yeah, and you look at the ex-Woba, and it's very weird. Like Woba and OPS mirror each other pretty identical,
There we
but
go.
look, it's trending in the right direction. It's slow, but it's trending in the right direction. And we know that left-handed hitters take a little bit longer, right? So I'm probably not gonna pick him up. It might be like a post All-Star break to see where he's at type thing to check in on him.
Well, I agree. Or somebody to look out for next year.
Or yeah, if you're in a
I don't think right now it's
dynasty
time to
league,
pick him up.
like if you're in a dynasty league and you're in a league like ours where you have minors and he's available, man, I would absolutely be interested in keeping him on my minors.
He's a great buy low candidate, probably.
Yeah.
It's about as low as it gets.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to close this out here. This has been episode 28. It was supposed to be a prospect update. We got really deep into some pitching prospects. I think that was some great conversation and great work there, guys. If you aren't already, follow us on our social media. We're all on Twitter. We're all on Instagram. As you can see, BNB_Burns, BNB_Lombard, BNB_West, and BNB_Costa. Kochever. That's how it's spelled out. Find us on Instagram, the Twitter interactions we love. Tweet us up. Wes has been tweeting out some great stuff on the daily. Top pitchers or just top overall scorers?
So every day it's top scores from the day prior. So the top scoring hitters and top scoring pitchers from the day prior. One thing
Right, so-
for me, it's just hard to like. I don't look at the top scorers every day, other than doing that, and most fantasy players don't. So
But he doesn't also just do top scorers. He shows like, hey, this guy's trending up. Maybe pick him up. Wes is giving you some tips throughout the week on his Twitter. Right there, I see that on a daily basis, pretty much. And then Tommy's always giving his ex-woba on players on his Twitter. But for sure, follow our Instagram. That's where most of our posts are. They are being shared on Twitter as well. So if you're not already, follow us on there. For me, I'm Michael, Tommy, Wes, Will. This has been episode 28. We'll catch you guys on the next one.